Hello people, I have another video for you today. Now, today we're going to be looking at a Razer Taipan. We're going to be doing a review on this mouse, and we're also going to be doing a comparison with the Razer Imperator. But this is very important, so you don't get confused. We're only going to be doing a comparison in terms of ergonomics and grip style and construction and stuff like that, because the Imperator I'm comparing it with is the old one. It's not the 2012 Imperator, which has the 4G sensor. It's the old one, okay? So specs wise, I'm not going to be doing a comparison between that because they basically have, the same sensor, and performance is about the same with both of them since they have the same sensor. Right then, so just gonna get you in and have a look at them. Before I start, you guys may have noticed that I am quite a bit of a Razer fan, but also I tend to criticize a lot, especially when I don't like something. So you see, now I've criticized Razer's mouse pads in the past because I didn't like the fact that they wore out very quickly. So I'm going to be taking a very critical view of this mouse. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay guys, so this is the Taipan from the side. Now, before you ask, this is the ironclad. I just put this on because both mice are gray, the mouse pad's gray, and you wouldn't be able to see anything if I didn't have something to contrast on. Right, so first grip, palm grip. Right, so hand, all the way back, hand all the way to the front, and as you can see, honestly, I don't use palm grip, but this mouse is brilliant for palm grip. It's just brilliant. Now, if you'll remember this from when I did the Death Adder and the Imperator comparison, if I do the same thing with the Imperator, it's just a bit short for my big fingers. Okay, with smaller hands, this may be better. Now, just as a quick note, I asked my girlfriend to do the same palm grip as I did. She has smaller hands than me, and she could still palm it, although her fingers came a little bit back, but she could still palm it and use it comfortably. Now, next grip, fingertip grip. This is what I actually use. So, as you can see, there's a bit distance between my hand and the mouse. So I just touch the mouse with fingers over here, and with just the tip of my fingers. All I do is this, right? Now, I used to do the same thing with the Imperator, right? The exact same thing. The thing is that the Imperator has, this hump. It's a bit taller than the Taipan. If you can actually see, you can see the Imperator over the Taipan. If they'd be the same size, you couldn't see it. So this one has a bit of a lower profile, which for a fingertip user, this is better. But the Taipan is also just a bit longer than the Imperator. Now, I don't know if I'm able to show you this. Let me just see if I can do this. Maybe, yeah, you can see it. It's just a bit longer. That's important because if you have smaller hands than me, then you might have problems if you want to fingertip this. Now, my girlfriend couldn't fingertip this in a comfortable way. She could fingertip the Imperator, but she couldn't fingertip the Taipan just because it has this slightly elongated profile. Also in the grip department, the old Imperator and the older Razer mice had this glossy bit on this side and also on this side. Now this bit got really dirty and it's not really ideal for gripping, although the shape of the mouse over here means that you can grip it very well. Now they've gone with this rubber on this side. Now, I've used mice with rubber on the side before, and the problem was that they had rubber ridges and dirt got in there and was really hard to take out. Now, although this is rubber, it has no ridges on it. It's just, a textured rubber, so you won't get dirt in there, and the grip on it is actually very good. Now, I'm going to talk a bit more about the texture of this mouse later on. Another thing that I find very important and a lot of people don't talk about is balance. I am that person that picks up my mouse a lot. I do this a lot, with it. I pick it up, do this, I pick it up again. So if, for example, the mouse was nose heavy, when I picked it up, it would do this, the front would stay down, the back would lift up, as in if the back was heavier than the front, then you'd have the opposite problem. Now, what I do is I take my big finger and my ring finger, and if I can pick up the mouse from where the position where I would put my big finger and the position where I put my middle finger, just pick it up, and if it's level with the ground, I should be able to pick it up with ease. It shouldn't be heavy, and also it should stay balanced. Now I can do this with Taipan just fine, and I can also do this with the Imperator just fine. Razer is really good at this stuff. I don't know what nobody talks about it, but mouse weight balance is actually very, very important. Some companies, you know, just allow you to put weights on, you know, over here or over here. I think that's stupid. You should have weights, the possibility to put weights all over the mouse, not just in one area. Or you could just go with Razer's way and just have the mouse be properly balanced and properly weighted. Now, of course, if you pick it up from the front, you know, it's not balanced in the front. You just have to find its balance point. And on both these mice, in the Imperator and the Taipan, the balance point is exactly where it should be. Right, guys, now I'm gonna show you something that I find very important. A lot of people have complained about Taipan, the Taipan's materials. Now, I don't know, I think people sometimes are just stupid or just ignorant. I've read things like, oh, it's made out of cheap plastic. Now, I don't know if the camera is gonna catch this, but you can clearly see there's a shade difference between them. The old material that Razer used to put on their mice is something that I like very much. It's matte, you know, so it's not gonna show dirt that easily, and it's also very, very wear resistant. Now, I've used this mouse for 2 years on basically a daily basis. Now, the only small signs of wear I can see are over here and over here, right, where the clicks are. And even those are really, really small, and you can only catch them in the light. And just small, and in the rest over here, there's nothing. It's actually, you know, almost as new. And I really used to like this material. Now, although it's matte, it's very smooth, right? Now, on the Taipan and the newer mice, they're going with something different. The new material they have is also matte, but it's slightly rougher. I mean, it's not abrasive or anything like that. It's just not as smooth. Now, the microphone I'm using is over here, right? So it's really close, like 10 centimeters from the mice. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna have you guys, you know, listen while I move my fingers over the texture of the mouse so you can understand what I'm talking about. The Imperator 4 first. Almost no noise, a very smooth surface. Now the Taipan. I'm hoping you guys can hear the difference. The thing is that with this slightly textured surface, I'm not, you know, again, it's not rough, it's not gonna scratch you or anything like that. It's just slightly textured. What that means is that the mouse will be easier to grip, and also you won't have, you know, the chance of your fingers slipping on the clicks or your mouse slipping from your hand when your hands are sweaty. Personally, when I game, my hands go really, really sweaty. So having, you know, this material on it has made a stark improvement over the old materials. On the sides where it's glossy and shiny, it was much worse because when I, you know, especially in the summer, when my hands got really sweaty, the mouse would sometimes slip, you know, over here and over here. And that's not, you know, that's not ideal. So personally, I think that this new material they're using, and they're using it all over the mouse except for the rubber sides, of course, I think that this material is absolutely fantastic. I do have one thing to say. The old one, as I've said, has proven to be very wear resistant. In 2 years, you know, barely any signs of wear. That's brilliant in my opinion. I just hope that this new material they're using is just as good. Now, if this proves to be just as durable, then I would have to say that this is, you know, the best material I've ever used in a mouse, personally. Right. Let's talk clicks. I prefer Razer mice over other, you know, lower end mice or even other high end brands because of the clicks. I think that the click you get from one of these Razer mice is one of the best you can have. Or I should say, I thought that. I thought that these clicks on the Razer mice were brilliant because they had very good tactile feedback and they were very accurate. Again, I thought that. After using the Taipan, I can truly say that the older Razer clicks are terrible in comparison to the new ones. What I'm trying to say is that the difference between the click on a Razer Imperator or older Razer mouse is very, very big compared to a normal mouse, and is, you know, equal to a other high-end brand. The difference between the click on a Razer Taipan and the click on a Razer Imperator is again very, very big. The tactile response you get from this mouse is beyond what I've experienced before. It's absolutely great. Honestly, I've used lots of mice in my time and none of them had this brilliant response. Now, if you're just gonna have a listen, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna click the normal click on the Imperator for a bit and then on Taipan, so you guys can hear the difference, because there is actually a difference between them. Now again, the mic is over here, so again about 10 centimeters distance between the click and the microphone, so you won't hear it, you know, that loud when you're actually using it. I'm just putting the mic closer so you guys can hear the difference. So I'm gonna shut up. I'm just gonna do something else for reference. I'm gonna touch the key on my Black Widow just for a bit. Personally, I think that the response you get from a mechanical keyboard is very, very similar to the tactile response you get from the clicks on the Taipan. Right, now in terms of build quality, now, you know, there's nothing, there are no squeaks, there's no crack, I don't know, it's built like a tank. I don't know what people say, you know, oh, the Taipan is shit build quality. It's built as a fucking tank. I mean, I can't move anything on it. I can't find any problems with the construction. Even on the Imperator, which is, you know, old, you see, you can hear a bit of this. That's just wear over time. That's squeaking you hear. And that's, you know, that's acceptable for me for a mouse that I've used for 2 years on a daily basis, and sometimes, you know, for many hours a day. In the acoustics department, you've already heard the clicks. Now I'm gonna show you the side buttons. Of course, this one being ambidextrous, it has buttons on both sides. I'm just gonna show you the buttons on the one side because, you know, that needs gonna be relevant enough. So the old Imperator first. No, let me just do this. You can hear the difference. Now also there is a very distinct tactile difference between them. These ones are much stiffer, much harder, and also they offer a very positive response when you click on them. Personally, I've never used the side button on this one except for maybe browsing or stuff like that. So, you know, the buttons on themselves have seen very little use over time, so I don't think wear is an issue here. I just think, you know, it's a different click. Right, another thing. Wheel. I use mouse wheels a lot. You can hear that one. Now, hear this one. Very similar. Just one thing. I'm not gonna be able to show you this on camera, so I'm just gonna tell you. The Imperator had rubber ridges on the wheel, and this is fine. I mean, I have no complaints about this one. But this one, besides those rubber ridges, they've also added like little rubber studs on it, so you can do, you know, much more precise movements of the wheel than you could with the old one. Just a small, you know, minor thing, but I think it's, you know, it's worth mentioning. Right, guys. So I've put the Imperator to the side. I'm just gonna talk about the Taipan for a bit. Just gonna try to make up a conclusion for this video. In regards to the tracking, the new sensor, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I use it on 3200 DPI, and in Counter-Strike Go, I've seen a stark increase in my accuracy since I've started using this mouse compared to the old, you know, old Razer sensors. It's just pinpoint accurate. There's no other word for it. There's zero lag, zero drift. It's just perfect. People are gonna troll. People are gonna say to you, "Oh, it's crap, man," you know, stuff like that. Go somewhere, try it. You're gonna see that I'm right. Because I'm very, very, very picky about this stuff. That's why, you know, I spend a lot of money on my hardware and my peripherals. And I can honestly say that I can find no flaws with the tracking on this mouse. Or with the tracking of the sensor, I should say. Because you can get the same sensor in other mice. Again, you know, things that I like about it. The materials, the grip, I think it's brilliant. For fingertip grip, or palm grip, the mouse is very good, and that's, you know, a lot of flexibility for just one mouse being so good for two different grips. The weight of it is perfect. The build quality, I think, is very good. The only two things I would say I don't like: the colors are not interchangeable. On some of other Razer's products, you can switch the color on the wheel or on the logo, and you know, the new Razer products are black and green, which I suppose makes sense because Razer's colors have always been black and green, but their products have been blue and black, which didn't make much sense, if I'm honest. So now they're going with black and green, which is fine. I mean, the colors are fine, the LEDs look, you know, look really good. There's no complaints about that. But the thing is that, you know, my keyboard is blue, has the old blue lights, and I can't change the lights on the keyboard, and I can't change the lights on this. So I would have liked to be able to change the colors. Although that being said, this is an expert level product graded by Razer, so I guess they're saving stuff like, you know, light changing for their elite products. And as I said in the beginning, if this new material proves to be as durable as the old one, then I would say that it's absolutely brilliant. Well guys, that being said, you know, you can make up your own minds. I've shown you what I think about the mouse. I've shown you the grips, the noise it makes, the build quality of it. What I would suggest is maybe you should go, you know, to a store and just try it out, see if it fits your hand, see if you like the tracking. And you know, as a last piece of advice, don't listen to all the trolls on the internet. Okay? So as the last thing, you know, you've seen what I think about this mouse. You've seen it. Go on Razer website and look at all the specs if you want to see all the specs on it. Well, guys, that was it. If you have questions about it, feel free to leave some in the comment or message me. Alright, so I'll see you guys. Bye.